Hi, she's Trixie, and I'm Sarah, and this is our Yarn World, a place where we come to share the love of yarn crafts and other crafts as well. We're very excited to come to you on episode 70. It's really exciting. We just really are excited to be able to show you some of the things that we are actively going to do and some of the things that we have gotten done and
some
tips and tricks and I don't know, just some. I know I have one story. Well, no, I have like two. No, I have three. What?
We better get on with this. So, I did finish the Perfect Circle Afghan, and it is going to be shown at the end of this video. I did take a little video of it in completion on my living room floor so that you could see the whole thing at the same time.
Yeah.
Because it's really hard to see when I'm just holding it up. And
it's really pretty.
But it turned out really well.
Was it satisfying?
It was. Getting it done and having it look as pretty as it does is a good thing for me. Trying something new too. So I tried something new and I finished it and it was satisfying.
Was that one of your New Year's resolutions?
I just want to try new things this year.
Yeah.
And so, in that genre, the slow stitching came. I went to my friend Jane's house. She was watching To Be Loved Treasures by Corinne. I just happened to see it and fall in love with it, and I'm like, no, I don't need anything else in my life. But you know how that goes.
As literally me.
As crafters, we have the need to always have something new to do, something that keeps our creative interest going. And so I, in that endeavor, decided to make something for my daughter's children, Olivia and Canyon. And so it's not done. It's still a work in progress, but a lot of this of Olivia's is finished. I did finish her name.
That's such a cool signature.
Yeah,
for her
the
name.
Olivia. I did just do all kinds of different things, embellishments, stitches.
That fairy is so important to her.
Yes, and it looks so much like our Olivia that I couldn't not put it in. I did put a paper picture in there
Of her when she was a baby.
of her first Christmas.
She was 4 months old.
I have discovered new stitches on my sewing machine, and so I've done all kinds of new stitches on the perimeters of some of these elements. I have today I found a pair of earrings that I never wear, and I added them to the composition. So this and this is an earring. I'm adding big beads on here. I have learned how to couch. I have learned how to do seed stitch. I don't know if you can see it, but I put it in all different kinds of colors.
It's like on the black, you can see those colors.
All the way around the flowers.
So the flower is untampered, except for the center with the rhinestones and the seed stitch with the neon. The ombre
It was
yarn.
a very variegated yarn or thread, and so it just kept switching colors, and we all know how that keeps me going. And so, yeah, I have added and added and added and added onto this. And I just, the other day, put on a little bow and a ribbon, which is all pink roses, which my granddaughter and I both shared the love of. So, on my quilt, on my bed, there is a heart right in the middle, and it's made out of fabric that is all pink roses and their leaves. she sits in the middle of my bed, right in that heart, and says, I love pink roses. Every time she comes over here, she wants to go sit on my bed and look at the roses. So I had to incorporate those in her piece. Now, enough about Olivia's. We've got canyons going too. I normally do not do two at the same time, but I had to get his started. And last week, or 2 weeks ago when he was over, I can't remember now, I showed him this piece, and he is he loves to put things in their place.
Puzzles.
Yes. And so he has a Lightning McQueen, and he has a red, and he has a mater, and he decided that they all needed to go on their specific places on this piece. So his is all about cars, and
he likes things
Route
in
66.
motion.
Yes, Route 66 is the place in Cars, the Disney movie, that they are wandering through. My daughter, I said, well, what do you call him? Because for Olivia, we call her our warrior princess. For Caniel, it's Little Man, Little L-I-L man. And so Sarah suggested I make a license plate and put that on. So for his name, I put Little Man and Pierre, Michigan. And I used a stamp, the letter stamps to put Pierre, Michigan on. I did draw the Little Man, which is not perfect. His birthday's in January, and I put the year 22 because that's the year I made this. So the yellow heart in the middle, one of his favorite colors is yellow, and so this is where I'm going to put his picture whenever I find a good one of him. There's so many. And I put my favorite stitch of my sewing machine all around every one of these elements, just so that it would all be cohesive.
I like his name.
And I've got his name on there. And it turned out really great. I couched his name in variegated, oh, that's not going to come to me now. I can see it. Little teeny rope. I know I'm going to think of it later. And the variegated thread. So it's just twine. It's variegated twine and variegated thread. So it's coming together, and I have to put some embellishments on his, but the word I chose for him and his little charm is inspire. So, and I don't think you're going to see that. Maybe you will. So his word is inspire. And Olivia's word is believe. So I believe that he will inspire people, and I believe that she is going to make everybody believe in whatever it is that she believes. She's very strong-willed that way. The other thing that I have to show is something that I ordered and got within a couple of days from Etsy, but it is a breakfast tray. And why would you think that I would need this? Well,
Etsy or eBay?
It was Etsy. Maybe it was eBay. Maybe it was eBay. I don't know. One of those names. It was because I ordered it because I just could not stop thinking about if I'm in my lounge chair at night watching TV with the husband, I need to have my hands doing something. I cannot just sit there. It makes me fall asleep. And so either I'm crocheting, but it's so muggy hot here now that just having anything in your lap is just kind of really ridiculous.
Revolting.
Especially a blanket. And so the slow stitching has been really nice because it's smaller you're just using threads and needles and, you know, your elements. But I needed something in my lap to place all the elements so that they weren't falling into my chair or getting lost somewhere. I knew that if they were in the tray, they weren't going to be they could roll if they wanted to, but there's edges on this. And so there's no way they're going to fall out. And what's nice is they each side has a nice handle, so you can just lift it up off your lap whenever you need to get up to do something else, and all your elements are right there in the tray. Very handy. Now when I go to my friend Jane's this Friday, I will be bringing it because I'll be working on the kids' slow stitching, and I'll be able to keep all my elements in there as well. And when I take them out of the bag, I can just put them in the tray and I don't have to lose anything. And not that I'm losing things when I go over there, but this will help me have peace of mind that everything that I came with is leaving with me. And so, yeah, that's why I bought that. And I thought maybe that's a good tip for you guys. If you work with small things, maybe you could get a tray of your own with some kind of side on it so that if things roll, you're not losing them.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep, that's my tip of the day. And I'm really happy with it. I'm really pleased with it. There's something that I'd like to start making that I just looked into last night, and I have watched 5, 6, maybe a dozen YouTube videos. I've gotten myself
addicted.
All the elements from my own stash, and I might start working on those, and this tray is going to come in handy for that too. So yeah, if I decide to do this, you will be seeing the progress in those too. So we'll see. We've got the things together now. We just have to start and see where we're going to go with it. So what have you been doing?
So what did I show off last week?
Oh, don't ask me that question. I can't remember now.
Sorry. I know that I had made I had accomplished the link, but I feel like that was the prior episode.
That wasn't last week. Oh no.
I don't mean to be...
It's been a long week.
Wait, I almost had it. I finished the dragon, didn't I? It was a dragon.
Yep, you showed the dragon.
So, explained to Mom this morning how many projects I have to get done within a certain amount of time from now till Christmas. It's probably over 10 of them.
It was quite a bit.
It was quite a lot.
Yes.
I am obligated to get done. Some of them more personal obligations, but things I am trying to be better at time management and the aspect of like using my time well constructed to be able to accomplish these goals. I will probably always have to carry a project with me no matter where I'm going.
Yeah, and that's what I told her too.
So, story time. I never told anybody this on the channel after this happened because it was really just frustrating, and I just don't like to share this sort of stuff, but it needs to get dealt with. So last year, if you were following us at any point, you will have known that I had fulfilled an order for my father-in-law of a Santa pillow that was a countdown till Christmas.
Yeah.
It was Santa's hat and head, and in his beard there is these pockets that are countdown to Christmas, and from the tip of his at the end of his hat where the pom-pom is, there's a white chain with a little candy cane that fits inside.
Yeah.
Really cute, really simple design, and just very effective, I feel. And he ordered that, and a pair of 6 decorative hats that would fit the back of a chair. Like, so let's say this is the chair. It would just slip on top to a point. I would have it boxed to fit the width and depth enough that it wouldn't just slip off.
Right.
And then there I would start to decrease and have it where the flap at the end of the hat would fall over and be very decorative on the back of the chair. He wanted a collection of 6 of those. He gave me the measurements, he paid me, and I sent them on their way. We sent them in November, thinking that that would be enough time to get it to him. Never got to him. I never told you guys because a part of me almost wished that like randomly in March it would randomly make it to him and we would be able to brush it under the rug. But he's been a very consistent customer of mine, and so for this to have happened, he took it rather well. Like, I sent him proof that I sent it, like the tracking number, and I contacted and went down to our local post office, and I contacted other mailing post offices to be like, when you get this package, detain it and reroute it. And I was paying for that just out of compensation, right. Or I was willing to pay it out of compensation because it never got there.
And it was expensive to send.
My package was stolen from us. And from what I have been able to detect, was sent to a warehouse.
Oh.
Where it likely was sold. It's frustrating. And because the only way that I can compensate is, the thing is that, like, he paid me, and it wasn't that I didn't do the work. To refund him the money of work that I did have proof that I did with receipts to show that I sent it, it wasn't that I didn't do the work. It's that it got stolen.
It never got
there. And he told me that he did not expect me to pay him back, nor did he expect me to refill the order. He realized I was going to take too much money, and he wasn't going to commit to it again. And it kind of hurt. Not him saying that, but just more of, it just hurt that the circumstance made me feel possibly like there was a loss in faith, that if I were to do it, that the only means that the projects would have safe travel is if I like overnight FedExed them, which is really expensive, or if I in travels when he came here, or went, or my husband go down to see him, would have to travel with these items with him on his carry-on. It just was frustrating. But me and my husband decided that no matter what he said, that he was going to get these items because he did pay for them. We have committed to fulfilling these orders on our own goodwill and time to be able to offer him what he wanted.
Yeah.
The only issue is that to be able to do that, I have to have the measurements of his chairs.
And now you've got a way to do that.
Well, here's the thing. This man is a decorator, and so I don't really know how much his stuff could have changed, but I didn't want to spend all my time doing the hats, realizing I did the wrong size. It would have just
hit double whammy.
It would have been, yeah, right. I'm not going to do these hats a third time. So with that being said, my husband has now booked a flight to be able to go see his dad in September. And so I have started on the second Santa pillow, and I'm pretty well on my way. I am making really good strides, and likely next week I'll have it done.
Yeah.
And so with the rate of that, I'm actually going to fulfill another order that he had asked of me, which was colorful Easter eggs.
Yeah.
So after I'm done with the Santa pillow, I'm going to fulfill those. We are I'm personally thinking of methods in which I can make these travel condensed, and I'm thinking about putting I have to look it up, but I'm thinking about putting everything in a vacuum sealed bag where I can suck all the air out so it can condense down.
Yeah.
I don't think it will hurt the stitches because it's not getting wet.
Right.
And I don't think it's the yarn that's going to be compromised or the stuffing. I think it's just that it might get a little wrinkly, but the yarn will relax because it will only have been during the flight. And what is that going to be? Max of 5 hours.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to permanently damage it, and I will allow him to put it on his carry-on without allowing him also to have the other things that he wants in the little suitcase he's allowed to bring on the plane itself.
Yeah.
So that's the plan. I will fulfill the pillow and those orders, and when my husband goes down, they will be personally delivered. And when my husband's there, he will then stealthily get a measurement of the chairs. The way I'm going to have him do it is I'm going to send a ball of yarn down there with him and scissors. I'm literally going to have him wrap the string, cut it, cut around the back of the chair, cut it, and I will know.
Yeah.
I will have him do it 3 times, so if one of them gets lost,
Yeah. Yeah.
likelihood is one of them is going to survive. If he wants to bring a tape measure, cool. I can give him one of my seamstress's tape measures that just kind of is fabric and winds around people and it works. But the likelihood is I'm just going to have multiple options to possibly get it done. Have him maybe send me the photo while also bringing me the string. Something to the effect of getting it done. He likely will wake up early in the morning or late at night when they're already in bed to get it done, which is kind of cool. But... Then, by November, I have to have gotten the Godzilla done for my nephew's birthday, and to get my mother-in-law's blanket done. Their birthdays are both in November, early December, so we're gonna get them done at that time. The issue is that I also have to start really handling those hats because I want to be able to have enough time to get them to him so that he is able to use them for Christmas. And this man gets Christmas ready almost in November because it's just too soon and it's creeping. So it's one of those things where it's like I want to get into him sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to be bustling. And the thing about the hats and the blanket are that they are good projects for sitting in front of something and being mindless. They are going to be easy projects to accomplish. I will not have to think about them. They will just be repetitive as there ever was. It's fine. Everything else is going to take a lot more of my cognitive brain power, and that's going to hurt. But it'll get done. And then I got possibly 2 orders of shawls to complete before Christmas time. And then I have tentative plans that the personal Christmas gifts that my children are going to have. My children are 3 and 2. Mm-hmm. Currently, my daughter is about to turn 4, and my son will turn 3 in January. They will tentatively receive these gifts. I've already gotten gifts for them already for Christmas where they will be mutually loved toys.
Yeah.
And then these toys that I'm hoping to actually make for them, hand make for them, are going to be things that are pulled out of their stocking that are specifically theirs, not something that is going to be shared.
Yeah.
And they'll
happy.
And they'll get books with these.
Yeah.
My son loves Dr. Seuss. It is one of his favorite illustrated works. He loves the way that the characters talk. He loves the rhyming. And evidently, almost all the shows, if you talk about Cat in the Hat knows a lot about that. Cat in the Hat adaptations, the Lorax,
Green Eggs and Ham.
Green Eggs. Oh, I was gonna make that the last thing, but Horton Hears a Who,
Yeah.
like all these shows, right? Not just the books, the shows, but there is an actual TV series on Netflix called Green Eggs and Ham. And it's about Sam I Am that chases Guy Am I.
Yeah.
And they make the story obviously more complex than the book makes it, but all the episodes are a place in which inevitably Sam ends up asking Guy to try Green Eggs and Ham.
Oh, okay.
Like they're on a quest for all these different things, and there's so much other structures of these characters and their arcs and everything, but Sam always asks in every single episode while they're there, here or there, with a mouse, with a fox, with
Right.
this, would you like some green eggs and ham? Which is really clever. But my son fell in love with these characters. Like, we got him this Green Eggs and Ham book that has magnets,
Oh, okay.
where you place all the magnet characters in the right spot in the story.
He must love that.
But he loves the Guy Am I and the Sam I Am character magnets so much he didn't want to let them go. And I was sitting there looking up whether I could buy like toy stuffies of these. Like I knew they were going to be expensive, but I was like, let's just see. I can always see if I can find a coupon or something. They have nothing. This show is a successful hit, and yet they don't have any merchandise. And I'm sitting there being like, opportunity. I'm going to make them.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make him a little Guy Am I and Sam I Am
Oh man, he's gonna love those.
with a platter of green eggs and ham.
Yes.
And then my daughter recently discovered dolls. Like, she knew about them, but like in her age and development, she now knows about them. They're very important to her. She now has the concept of imagination play. They are her best friend.
This
She
is my
now-
best friend ever.
And just like, we bought her a doll yesterday, and she is like everything with this doll.
Yeah.
And she's head over heels about this doll. Well, this doll is called a Rainbow High doll, and has a really high, like, really defined features, like almost high resolution. Like, the eyes are very colorful and expressive, and like very well put together dolls. And
This one's called Violet Willow.
yeah, and
She keeps asking what the name of the doll is, and we got to keep repeating that. And she keeps repeating it after us. She loves the name Willow.
Well, I was like, maybe I can make her a doll. Like, you know, like, maybe just like in passing, I was like, I probably could make her a doll.
To go with her other dolls.
Like, if she likes them, then that would be a responsible also gift. Like, Caniel's gonna have his dolls. I
Yeah.
can just make her a doll. Like, that works, right? Well, I found patterns of dolls with like the same, it's like they're the same sort of eyes and style of doll. So, does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
the same style, like the very, very big eyes and small body, like. And this one's a mermaid, obviously, and that it's just beautiful. This one is a fairy,
Yay.
and like there's so many of them. Like it's really cool. Like they were like some of them that are using actual doll hair are actually suggesting to go to the store like Sally's like beauty supply and get wig hair and making your own. Like, this is a crochet doll. And they've just, the clothes are made out of actual fabric, and the hair is part of a wig that they made, but everything, even like the pink cheeks, is just applying makeup to the fabric and
Wow.
dyeing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm sitting there being like,
the creativity of people is just amazing.
And even if I use yarn, look at this. This doll looks like it's a modern day millennial. Just
yeah, messy bun and all.
yeah, like just even I've put my daughter in an outfit like this before with her space buns. Like it's like. And they have all these options of even different girls and different ethnicities with different hair types and how to do different hair types and like different hairstyles and even like messy hair like this where it's like even tight curls like yours and like I like just and I've been looking up how to do the embroidery for the eyes and there are means in which to be able to practice on things that allow you to be able to get it done and like
so beautiful. The work on these things is just incredible.
And I really like granted I have no problem committing to buying her these dolls like the collections of dolls that she's obviously enjoying, but I want to be able to show her that I respect her interests just as much as Canyo's, that I am searching a way to be able to find it. So in my head, she has never asked for a mermaid doll, nor has she asked for a fairy, but because of that fairy that's on the
slow stitch
that she's my mom's making, she's become very interested in flying, all things flight. Like she loves Paw Patrol. Her favorite one is Sky, which is the pink female dog that does the helicopter and the plane, and so her name is Skylar, Sky High. She has a couple of others that like she just likes flying, and now she wants wings and she wants to be able to do things. And
for her birthday, I was able to get her some fairy wings, so she's gonna love that.
So it's like one of those things, right, where I'm sitting there being like, if I can even just like. I realize I'm not going to be able to replicate one of those rainbow high dolls. I'm not going to even try, but by even just being like, here's a fairy that has that same sort of look, or here's these other dolls that they don't go to rainbow high, but they do they do other things, right. and I could make them clothes, and I could do different things where she could I'm also considering making her a little wardrobe that she can hang her clothes on, and like making things, because once she gets into that zone, she is there, just like with Canyon. Once he gets in that zone, that's what he's doing with his time. I just really think that would be a good use of my time this year and what I have left of my year to accomplish those said tasks, which means that you know what I'm going to be doing. Got all this stuff for the in-laws and other orders and getting things done for family, and I'm really excited. But my visual thing to actually show you is that I did start, like I said, on that Santa pillow, and so I got the front panel done. Oh, I haven't done the edges, but I've done it. And I did the back panel. And what's funny is I did the back panel first last time, and I did the same dang mistake where when they were telling me to get the ruffle around it done to make it have like that shape of the beard, they wanted you to not start on the row that you ended on, but to flip it around and start on the row that you started on, the actual foundation row, where this was supposed to be flat and there were supposed to be ruffles down there, because the face is up here and the beard's supposed to fan out like that, not the face being bigger and the beard going down, because obviously his face isn't going down. So I have to now undo the ruffles and correct it and finish this one off. But it's getting done, and like I said, I really think with how motivated I am and how much I've been able to like keep up and keep going on these projects, and like how I'm now finding the systems that work for me to keep the things in front of me to get stuff done, or even to bring it with me wherever I go, I think I'm really going to be able to knock this out.
Right.
The only other thing I wanted to show you was that I recently grabbed myself a whiteboard, and this thing really came in handy today because it gets like patterns like these So the texture of the stitch that I'm crocheting for the front of the pillow is, I don't know if it's a pattern, but it's a half double crochet to single crochet, half double crochet to single crochet every single time. And it creates this texture that I find really pretty.
Yeah. I like it.
And I really like it myself, and I think it's really a great visual texture. And that way, when the shelvings go on and they're not that texture, you're able to see it better, which is, I think, why they did that. Besides it making it have the texture of making it look like it's a beard.
Right.
But I really like it. And I appreciate the fact that it's so uniform and that the designer did it so well that even the increases and decreases didn't screw up the pattern. But because I understood what the pattern was asking of me, I just need to know when I was just going across the row or whether I was decreasing or increasing.
Right.
And so there's 51 rows for each panel, and I was on like the second half of the front panel today, and I was 9 rows from the end, and I was like, I've got the pattern on my phone, and so if I'm listening to something on my phone, or if I'm looking at watching a video on my phone when I'm doing it, I have to constantly go in and out of it every single row to just check in. And so instead, because I only had 9 rows left, I went from 93 to 51, and I just said chain 1 or chain 2. That would let me know what stitch I was starting with, and I just wrote normal or decrease. And because I'm calculating each row's productiveness with just some
tally marks,
I was able to know what row I was on in that way, and then every single time I was done with the row, I just erase it.
Yeah, perfect.
And it was a simple visual, this is all you have to do, and I could just keep watching my show while...
Yeah. Earlier today, though, she had it all, she kept writing down all the things that she had to do for the end of the year, and had the whole list on this whiteboard, and that was very nice. I'm a visual person. That would have to be the way I do things too. I have to have it written down.
Well, I'm normally like loading on a piece of paper. I have notebooks everywhere. I have sticky notes everywhere, like all these things. But this is like a never-ending piece of paper.
Yeah, and you can erase it and keep going.
Yeah, and obviously there's no permanency. If something is recorded on here, obviously take a photo of it or something if you don't want to forget, or put it on something else. But for something like this, it gives me that freedom. And you can get boards like this smaller that would fit inside a bag, like a craft bag, like your thing.
Yeah.
And I'm really thinking about purchasing one that might even just have a cover on it or something, where I can just always have something that I'm writing, and then that I'm able to just never have to, I'm not wasteful of my paper.
Right.
And it's big enough where if I'm trying to do a design,
you can draw it out.
Like, I realize that this is not this is not brain science, or that this isn't obviously what they're used for, because they're used for teaching and they're used for this exact purpose. That's why they're installed at schools.
Right.
But I'm sitting there being like, you almost separate them to the academic world, or like just academia in general, and you just don't think about how practical they can be in your own uses or even crafts. And the fact that I can, like, if I am trying to figure out something, I can just do it real quick and then just wipe it away and have this ready for me next time.
Yeah.
I am excited to use it just to be able to finish my projects this year, because I really think it's gonna speed up my productivity.
And then also, the pen has an eraser right on the end, and I've never seen that before.
It came with it like that.
I know. Usually it has that great big eraser. This one has it right on, like a pencil. So it was just like, wow, that is really cool. They've really come a long way with these things.
And again, like I said, I'm not acting like this is nothing new. I'm not, it's not like I have the end all be all life hack, but I just really found that this was very useful to me, and because it was like, I don't have to switch between my pattern if I can just kind of write the gist of it down, exactly. And just so that I can be able to move on with what I'm doing, I don't have to keep switching between my phone and what I need my phone for.
Yeah.
And accomplish what I need to do and not waste my resources like my paper that I really, really treasure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm very excited about just being able to find something that works for me. And I just figured I would let you know and just kind of give you an update for the things that I am personally going to try to continue to do for the rest of the year.
Yeah, and how much was that?
I found this at Walmart yesterday for $7.
So see, that's even
I think
worth the price.
It was in the back to school section. It was like $7 or $8. There was bigger ones for 10, 11, like almost to fit like, I don't know.
This might fit in a locker though.
I don't know how. I don't feel like this is locker size. But it's very organized size for like the beginning of school year, even just for a teenager.
For moms or teenagers on their wall or whatever.
Yeah. You know, people who just require that level of organization. I just try. I try to be organized. It's not always the way things go.
Well, the scripture of the day is, the Lord doesn't see things the way you see them. People judge by outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. And that's found in 1 Samuel 16, verse 7 in the New Living Translation. So the Lord doesn't see things the way we see them. People judge by outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. His ways are higher than our ways. His way of thinking is different than we think. And I think people in general tend to look at people and their appearance and their what they do as their end all be all, and God tends to look at the heart and the intention and the way that we do things, and if we meant to do it or we didn't mean to do it. You know, there's
a full picture.
The one verse, the story in the Bible, you know, a man asked his two sons to go out into the field and work, and one son said, "Yes, Father, I'll do that," and the other son said, "No, I'm not going to do that." And the one who said yes didn't do it, and the one that said no changed his mind and went into the field and worked. It's the intention of your heart. It's what you end up doing anyway. And that's what God looks at. And I just kind of wanted to bring that up, and just I thought that was it. I'm reading it in 1 Samuel right now, and that came up, and it was just like, oh, I need to write that down. Maybe we can talk about that. So,
I think the thing that stands out to me is that we have such a narrowed scope as to what God's scope is. Like,
we don't think like He does at all.
Like, so I was actually reading in a moral psychology book last night that was talking about what confirmation biases were, which means that once you have an intuition towards what you think something is, you almost get so fixated on it that it limits your ability to actually properly problem solve what actually is happening, because you want to defend what you think is right, even though when something explains to you that it's wrong.
Right.
Or there's a better way, some people are almost incapable of being able to let go of their confirmation bias because they want to protect it as if it's a victim of circumstance, not that, and want to have that validation
Yeah.
that they are inclinedly better or something.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels like that with this, where it's like our human nature is so set on being right the first time, our intuitions, that we don't even really think about it, right? Like, there's another very famous quote that I don't know who said, but it was, people always judge themselves on their intentions and other people's off of their actions. And I feel like when you judge people off of their actions alone, though possibly the most accurate data, there's also a level to having the full picture and recognizing that there's always more to the story than you know. And if you just put them in a stigma and stick them there and hold a prejudice over them, you're never going to be able to actually go further. And just to remember that an outward appearance doesn't change the fact that they're a living soul and that they're treasured and were made by God, and they're not just replaceable.
Right.
And for God to look in your heart, you know, for God to look deeper.
Yeah.
To look beyond the superficialness that we always get so caught up on to save us. There's just more to us, and God did not make us superficial beings, and therefore He looks at the grander picture, which is something that I'm very grateful for.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
So we hope that just kind of encourages you. The Lord doesn't see things the way that you see them. People judge by outward appearances, but the Lord looks at the heart.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
So we're going to close up our video, and we are excited to be able to I would like to hear what Jane thinks about just your updates on your patterns, the things that you want to start working on, and what you have bought to be more productive. And hopefully I'll have this Santa pillow done correctly.
Next week. You got a whole week, you can do this.
I think so. And maybe I'll be started on those Easter eggs and just get things done. I'd like to get them done early so that things that need to be done by September are just done, and I have more time to get things done by November. And if I'm headed up on that, I can
work on the kids' gifts.
Yeah, and that way, I have the time limit set, but in the end, I would like to be done early.
Yes. To enjoy things.
Yeah, and the way that I have it set is that I like the fact that I have the little toys, because they might be good breaks. Yeah. I can just get one done real quick and jump on to another project.
There you go.
So
now you got your whiteboard to keep it all on track.
So we love you. We hope that you have a great rest of your week, and as always, we hope that you stay safe and stitch your way
to mental health. Hi everyone, I just wanted to pop on here real quick and let you have a bird's eye view of the Perfect Circle crochet Afghan. Now, like I said, I did follow Krista's directions for the perfect circles, how to make them into squares, but I did add the stripes on the side, and I did put an extra half double crochet of black around the border, just to seal it off and to make it look really, finished. But yeah, so that's what it's looking like. It is finished. I can mark that off the list. I did try something new and it worked. So there you go. Yep. And I will see you in the next one.